Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here today with some Toonami news that was released yesterday afternoon. We have some schedules for the time coming up. As you might know, Zom 100 in its last few episodes here. So the question starts to linger, what's going to replace it? Well, for the first Saturday without it, which will be July 13th, and the next one, July 20th, well, actually 3 weeks. July 13th, July 20th, July 27th will have different schedules, and here we go to cover them. So on July 13th, the first Saturday without Psalm 100, the schedule will be as follows. My Adventures with Superman, then followed by 2 episodes of One Piece at 12:30 and 1, Naruto Shippuden at 1:30, Dragon Ball Z Kai at 2, Ninja Kamui at 2:30, and an hour of Demon Slayer afterwards at 3 and 3:30. And then after that, on July 20th, the next Saturday after that, we will have a very similar schedule. It will be My Adventures with Superman, One Piece, Naruto Shippuden, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Ninja Kamui, and then a single episode of Demon Slayer. So the only difference is that it's 30 minutes shorter. We don't have the 3:30 a.m. slot. That's going to be seated back to General Adult Swim. And on July 27th, I didn't bother to put up the July 27th graphic because it's much easier to remember. It will be a marathon of My Adventures with Superman Season 2. So, what you might notice is pretty much a dearth of content. Really, the only thing that is undeniably a premiere is My Adventures with Superman. And of course, there's that always a controversy of is One Piece or Naruto Shippuden technically a premiere or not. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, Naruto Shippuden's about to end, by the way. I think as of going into today, I'm recording this on a Saturday. There's 9 episodes left to air. So soon gonna have to answer that question. What do we do with that? And I think the best case scenario for Toonami would be to hopefully still have the rights to air it from Viz Media, and they just start from the beginning all over again at like the end of the block. I mean, and people are talking about like, oh, new licenses are coming, new licenses are coming. Very plausible. And we already know from Jason DeMarco's own comments from several weeks back where they are definitely making an effort to get season 7 at this point, I believe, of My Hero Academia on the block. I treat that as a guarantee. I think at some point it can be in August. It might be like in October. It can be any time in the late summer, early fall. I think we will get My Hero Academia season 7 on the block, more or less for the pragmatic reason of well, we've had the first 6 seasons, so I think that that's a lock. And there's other shows too. People have been throwing around. A lot of people still throwing around Witch from Mercury. I think the time has expired on Tanami's getting that. Like I know Tanami gets all these Gundam, but I don't think they're getting Witch from Mercury at this point. And I mean, that's really, and again, ultimately, normally you look at a schedule where you have to throw One Piece, literally the most Toonami treats as just ultimately just as filler in the second and third slots, and you're like, what the hell has happened? There's nothing new here. And the ratings actually have been pretty fine recently, mostly because My Adventures with Superman definitely has its own audience, which has been further established by the first few episodes of this season. So, and that's part of the reason why it's going to get the marathon at the end of July. That might be because I don't know how long that season is. It might end the week, but the 20th might be the last episode of the season. I don't know. I don't know how long the seasons are supposed to be for that. And afterwards, that they're just probably an even bigger issue because okay, now that season's over. We're not replacing Psalm 100 with a show. Then you can make an argument if that's not replaced with a new license. Then the quote unquote only new show in the block would be Naruto Shippuden, which is already going to end in a few weeks hence. And it's like one of those things where they're really definitely putting all their hopes and faith into getting My Hero Academia season 7, which I reiterate, I think is a lock. The question is sooner or later. Hopefully for Toonami, that answer is sooner. Which best case scenario would probably be August 3rd, August 3rd or 4th. 31 days in July, so it would be August 3rd. That would be the earliest date we might be able to see season 7 on the block. And of course, there's originals that we know are up in the air. Lazarus was announced a while back. We haven't gotten really any info on that in a long time. That's gonna happen eventually. It could be in the fall. It might be 2025. And of course, the Chinese democracy of Toonami, Uzumaki, has to appear at some point. I think that's already finished, and I expect that to be announced to be released in October because, spooky, Halloween, and all that stuff. I think there's a very, very high shot that happens. And I know you could probably go in my old videos, and I said that in both 2022 and 2023, probably, for, oh, it's going to be this October. It's going to be this October. No, I'm dead serious this time. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this October 2024. But ultimately, to sum up all parts here, not no new show announcements with the new schedule. Zom 100 will simply be replaced by another episode of One Piece. Naruto Shippuden is about to end in the next 9-10 weeks or whatever. Quick math, it'll end late. I'll say early September. My math might be wrong on that. Like early September it will end, and we'll need a new show then. Need a new show then. My Adventure Super. At this point, since we put Ninja Kamui at the end of the block, we'll probably just throw My Adventures of Superman at the end of the block. So we're probably gonna have, just based on that rerunning, Ninja Kamui probably rerun again. They like Dragon Ball Z Kai, that's probably gonna still be rerunning. And then again, maybe we get My Hero Academia season 7 eventually. You know. What do you guys think? Leave your comments and opinions down below. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.